Okay, today we're going to look at adding some rational expressions. The first thing I want to point out, though, is just adding regular fractions. Remember, if you had something like a 1/4 plus a 2/4, I could, well, let's say even 3/4. I could do 1/4 plus 3/4 very easily because both of these have the same denominator. When you were adding fractions, if you had a common denominator, your answer would, the denominator would stay the same of 4, and the numerator you would add it up and you would get 4/4, which then you could reduce to just a 1. So adding with the same denominator is easy. The reason this works this way is 1/4, remember, that 4 represents the fact you have something divided into 4 pieces and you have one of them. You have another similar object divided into 4 pieces and you have 3 of them. So you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4/4, and that's how you can do that. Also remember, though, if you had something like this, like 1/2 plus 1/3, I could not add those. What I would need on that is a common denominator. And so if I had a 1/2, it would be a piece about this size. A 1/3 would be a piece about this size. You cannot add that half and that third together because the pieces are not the same size. They are not like denominators, so you can't combine them at all. And in this case, what you would have to do is get a common denominator, and we'll worry more about that process tomorrow. But on number 1, notice these rational expressions all have the same denominator. So just like on these simple numbers, the denominator stays the same. The denominator has to start the same and stay the same. So my denominator is y. And then just combine like terms in your numerators. So I have 3 minus 8 is -5, plus 2 is -3. So I have -3 over y. Or sometimes you'll see somebody put the negative in front and have -3 over y like that. I prefer this way just because I think the second way, sometimes the negative gets stuck with that fraction bar and kind of disappears on you. But they do mean the same thing, and you might see it printed on an answer in either way. When you go to do one like number 2, these do have like denominators, and your denominator will be 2x. I'd still combine the numerators, but notice in the numerators there are no like terms. So don't try to force anything. All you're going to do on that one is say your answer is 3x plus 5y. There wasn't a lot going on in that one, but you basically took 2 fractions, combined it as 1 fraction, and that would be your answer. Don't try to force non-like terms or anything like that to go together. Just kind of do what the problem allows you to do. On the next one, for number 3, you notice all the denominators are the same. So on number 3, I can add up all those denominators. I'll have an x squared plus 6x. I'm sorry, the denominator stays the same. And then I'll add up all the numerators. So x squared plus 5x plus -6. Once again, no like terms. So I have an x squared plus 5x minus 6. But now here's where we need to point out a potential second step you're going to have on some of these, because sometimes you can get something and it could simplify after you add, and this one actually will. What makes me suspicious is the fact that it looks like both the numerator and the denominator have a square in it. It makes me think it might factor. So if I try to factor the denominator, I can factor an x out of the denominator. So the denominator is an x and an x plus 6. If I'm trying to factor the numerator, my numerator, I can see how I can break that down. So x times x is x squared. And then I have a 6 and a 1. So that's going to be an x plus 6 and an x minus 1. In this case, I could cancel some things out. The x plus 6 would cancel the x plus 6. And I'm going to be left with an x minus 1 over x for my answer. Now, these x's cannot cancel out again because 1 is being subtracted. The one on bottom could cancel, but the one on top is being subtracted with the 1, so it can't cancel. So do remember, after you get done adding or subtracting these, you do need to take the time to see if they will simplify by factoring, and like the problems we were doing yesterday. Please let me know if you have any questions on these, and I'll be happy to help.